Metal-Heads TV.
Hello Metalheads, my name is Kayo. Right next to me is Freddy from Madball, and we're gonna do an interview about their new record for the course. Freddy, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fine also. Last Friday your new record came out.
Yeah.
And I want to ask, what motivates you after nearly 30 years to create new music?
Many things. Many things motivate us. Just because we've been doing this band as long as we have been doesn't mean we don't grow as people or we don't experience different and more things throughout our lives. And as you grow, your band grows, I feel. And that's exactly what's happened. I was literally a kid when we started doing this band. And so, what's my perspective at 12 years old or something, And now I'm a grown man with kids myself. So, yeah, there's a lot to write about and a lot to be inspired by and still a lot to be pissed off about. I should be pissed off about my surroundings. Now I'm pissed off for my children. I don't want, the world they have to grow up in.
So when you started to write the new record, did you have some kind of concept in your mind that you say we should do it more harder, there's a direction, or came everything out naturally?
Pretty natural. We had the vision that we were going to make it more diverse. But as far as we're not very contrived people. We've never been that way. We've never been like, oh, this is going to be our our metallic influence record, or this is going to be this influence or that influence. Most of our music is naturally occurring, and this record's no different. The difference is that it's very diverse. It's probably our most diverse record that we've done, and it's just showing different sides that we have.
I want to talk a bit more about your new record, because if I get it right, unfortunately your old guitar player left the band, and then your old friend of the band, Matt, came in, recorded it, but you're on tour with Lord Frost, is it right? Lord
Frost. We call him Lord Frost. His name is Dom. He's in a band called Born From Pain. He's our friend for ages.
Yeah.
And he's been doing the last bunch of European tours with us, yeah. And just to clarify, Mitz didn't leave us while we were writing the record. We actually, unfortunately, it was left up to me. I had to let him go during that moment, during that time, because we just came to a point where something had to change. And Mitz is an old friend, and I love him dearly, and he's still my friend. What's up, buddy? We're still very dear friends. And the reality is, I value the friendship, and so better to end it on a good note than be weird, I think Mitz would have stayed in the band no matter what. He loved traveling. He loved playing Madball. He loved doing all this. He loves playing his instrument. He's a good guitar player. But the reality is, sometimes relationships come to a point, and someone has to say, hey, this is over. And that someone had to be me, because that's where, I'm left with that executive decision, But it was no ill will. It was nothing bad. Yeah. It's just something we did, and then we moved forward, and we just kept writing the record, and that's it. And the only person that could have played guitar on this record is Matt Henderson, and he was very excited.
Yeah,
very excited.
I want to talk a bit about some songs of that record, and I really like the song Rev Up. And you state in this song, you want the truth, start a revolution. What inspires you to that line and also to that song?
Well, many things inspire me, Firstly, the state of the world, the state of our youth. I think about my own youth. I think about my kids. It's sort of like I'm talking to the young folks, but I'm also talking to a young version of myself. I'm also talking to my kids in the future when they maybe read the lyrics, Everyone knows I'm not the first person to write about a revolutionary topic, obviously. But the approach with this one is just kind of like wake people up, man. Like, there's a lot of knowledge out there, and it's very easily accessible. And hopefully people utilize it to their advantage and don't just fall asleep at the wheel playing around on their phones or whatever else.
Definitely.
That's the point. Definitely. It's like, you know, maybe things are crazy right now. Politically, everything's a mess. So maybe the future, you know, some of these younger folks can, like, inspire some other folks and start changing things. I mean, that's been an ambition for many people for many years. Again, it's nothing new, but it's something that people need to be reminded of.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
For instance, your song Smile Now, Pay Later, if I get it right, it is about the pharma industry. And I did a lot of research on myself about eating the right food, for instance, because there's a lot of medicine in there that makes us very, very sick. And you wrote a song about it, if I get it right.
You're correct. You're correct. Yes, you got it right. Yeah, it's just about all that stuff. It's just about, again, nothing that just started happening yesterday. Something that's sadly been happening for many, many years, especially from like the 80s till now. It's just, people have just meddled with nature too much, like the natural process of consuming food, the natural process of healing, everything. You know, humans, we have like meddled with everything to the point where now it's not only are you meddling with it, but now it's becoming dangerous. Now the stuff you're putting in the food or whatever else, the medicine or whatever else, is actually hurting people.
Definitely.
And actually causing cancer and things like that. So, yeah, it's about all that kind of craziness. It's just kind of like,
Unfortunately, like you mentioned before, our behavior changed, and for instance, our communication changed. If I think about social media, and your song "Old Fashioned" is also a bit about this new trolling concept. You know, a band can do, for instance, whatever the band wants or want to do. Always there's a shitstorm, and I don't know why, or if you agree on me, but especially on hardcore, in the hardcore scene, that's a big topic. All this is kind of trolling, or what is your opinion about it? Because here in Germany, I don't know if a band is releasing a music video, for instance, which is driving around with a BMW car. It's like, oh no, that's not hardcore anymore, and they're going nuts on the internet. I don't know, how is it about in the USA?
I don't know. That song is like a two-part song. It's not just about that. The first verse is not even about that. And the chorus is not even particularly about that. It's just about certain values, that we came up with, about just like, carry yourself a certain way, be dignified, you know what I mean? The way you walk, live by, walk the walk, talk the talk kind of thing. And also about not living on your knees, which is like basically, you have to like, there's a saying, don't. I'd rather die standing up than live on my knees, right? So, that's kind of a play on that. It's kind of multi-themed, the song, really, if you think about it. It's not specific, like, hey, it's about trolls, or it's kind of a multi-themed song. But the essence of it is kind of old school rules, old fashioned, which is like, be who you say you are. If you fall, get up. Those kind of old school things that like should come instinctively to people, but they don't. And yeah, like that whole trolling thing, that was just like, I gotta give, you gotta give it to them a little bit too, because it's like it's ridiculous. Like, I don't want to give anybody credit that doesn't deserve any credit, but the reality is like they also need a little bit of a slap in the mouth too, because it's like, who are these people to even be talking about anything? They have no credibility. Like, what are you even saying? Like, go do something with your own life, kind of thing,
Yeah.
But again, it's a multi-theme song. It's not just about that specifically, but it's a little bit about that too.
I recognize on your new record you have a couple of guests, for instance, Ice-T and the singer also of Rancid,
Yeah.
I have to say it right.
Yep.
So can you tell us a bit about the cooperation about that?
Well, Tim, that came about pretty naturally because Tim, he sort of helped the whole situation with us getting into a studio to record. And so naturally, he came on board as like a co-producer. He's an old friend. Tim and I go back many years. And so that sort of all just happened when we were like trying to figure out where we were going to record. And then he helped us with that. And then we just kind of, it was kind of like, yeah, all right. You'll be there anyway, so co-produce kind of deal, And obviously, he was going to end up doing a song. I mean, it was bound to happen. We've been talking about doing music together forever, so we had to make it happen. And he was very excited. I mean, he liked the direction we were going with the record, everything we played him. I mean, the music was written when we came to him, so it was like a lot of people might be under a false idea or impression that like they co-wrote it with us, but no, we actually, even the more oi-ish, punkier songs on the record were actually not written by Tim. They were written by Hoya and myself and Mike. Yeah. So, but it just so happens that when we ended up working with him, it kind of ended up naturally kind of making sense. And so that was how that played out. But Tim is a great guy, man. He's a friend, and it helped us a lot with this record behind the scenes, and he gave good opinions. Yeah. And he did a great job on the song that he did. And the Ice-T thing, I met him in New York, and he made an impression on me, and I kept him in mind. I was thinking of a song where I pictured Ice-T on it, and I just reached out to him, and he was all about it. Yeah. Because when I met him, he had a lot of respect for Madball and New York hardcore, and he made it a point to come and tell us. Yeah. So I remembered that, and I thought that was very cool of him. And then when this one song popped up, that's called Evil Ways, I said, man, that'd be a good song for Ice-T. Definitely. And I just happened, man. Just happened. A lot of respect thrown back and forth.
Yeah, definitely. I saw on your schedule you're touring the whole summer here in Europe. Yep. And next year is the 25th anniversary of your Set It Off record. Do you plan maybe something special, for instance, to play both records? Or
Probably not. Only because we were never that band that was like, not that there's anything wrong with it, but we weren't that band that used to like really get all hyped on like anniversaries, like 10 years. But we did end up doing a 20-year Set It Off tour and a 20-year Demonstrate My Style thing for Rebellion. And it was cool. But like, we're not going to keep doing that for like every record and like 25 years, then 30 years. And I don't know, it's a bit much. But we did a thing for Set It Off, which was cool. Matt Henderson did it with us. Same with Demonstrate My Style. Two important records. Yeah, definitely. Super important records. And I don't know. I'm just focused on For the Cause right now. I mean, we're very happy with this record, and we're just trying to like be in this moment with this record right now.
Yeah. So today you're playing here in Düsseldorf at the Rattinger Hof. It's an old club with a historical. I don't know how many bands played here. A lot of hardcore bands, etc. And I know in New York there was also legendary clubs at CBGB's, unfortunately closed, and also a lot of small clubs are closing here in Germany. So is there in New York still a place where hardcore can survive in clubs, for instance?
There are,
that people should check out somewhere.
There are. But it's shifted a bit. It used to be in the city. That was where everything went on. There used to be CB's, of course, the classic, legendary place. then there was Wetlands, and then there was Coney Island High, and even other smaller places, Bond Street, and a bunch of clubs like that. And then those phased out. There was always been like some of the bigger ones like Irving Plaza and Webster Hall. Irving Plaza still exists. Webster Hall still exists. It used to be the old Ritz. And now it's shifting to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is where the hardcore scene is really surviving right now. Not that there's nothing in the city, there is, but everything's focusing. Like Brooklyn Bazaar is a place where we just had like the Black and Blue Bowl, which is an event that I do every year. To try to keep the culture of hardcore going in New York, and try to, it's a place that people come to from everywhere, from Europe, and they come and check it out, and it's a good time. And up until not that long ago, it was in the city at Webster Hall, and then we just brought it back to Brooklyn, where it actually started, to the neighborhood where it actually started, which is Greenpoint. And we really liked the feeling of bringing it back there. So, yeah, I mean, there's tons of clubs in Brooklyn right now, many that are like bringing up like that underground music culture again, not just hardcore, other stuff too, death metal, all kinds of heavy music. Underground hip hop, everything.
Nice. You're also very connected to the European hardcore scene, and for instance, you mentioned that the Born from Pain guitar player is supporting you. Can you tell us a bit more about your friendship?
Well, us and Born from Pain go way back, and actually Rob from Born from Pain, who is more or less the founder of Born from Pain and the vocalist, I mean, our friendships go way, way back, but Rob has now worked with the Madball camp, I would say a good 10 years now, as he's helped me out as tour manager for most of our European tours. There's been, very rarely does he miss them. So yeah, besides him doing his band and his other gigs and things that he has going on, management and whatnot, but he anytime we come to Europe, he's our tour manager. And Dom used to actually work as a guitar tech with us for a lot of years. And so, yeah, there's a connection there. And we have sort of special bonds with certain people and certain bands here in Europe because we've been coming here a long time, and we just, through the scene, through this, this hardcore family,
Yeah, Freddie, you answered all my questions. I want to say to our viewers that this is a new Madball record for the cause. Go out and buy it, definitely. One of the best records.
Go get it right now.
And if you want to say anything to your fans and to our viewers, you can say it now.
Thank you very much. To anyone who's already bought the record, we really appreciate it. Sincerely, from the bottom of our hearts. We've been at this a long time, and this is one of our proudest moments, this record right here. And you keep us young, and you keep us doing this thing at the top level. If it weren't for the people buying the records and coming to the shows, we wouldn't be putting it out the way we put it out on wax or live. So thank you to anyone and everyone who supports us, whether it be coming to a show or buying the record. There's a lot more to come, and we'll be out there soon. And we'll see you. We'll be all here all summer. So get ready.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Metal-Heads TV.